governor this evening is Benjamin Flores. Benjamin has a 30-year career in cybersecurity, protecting banks, fintech, and county governments. Benjamin currently serves on the Bay City City Council and represents Bay City on the Houston-Galveston Area Council. Please welcome Benjamin Flores.
Well, we've come to this part of the program where we get to talk about pigs. So, growing up, my skills were riding the subway, and because of my mom, a retired attorney by now, had to argue. So that was my skill there, and racing pigs has taught me a lot of things. One of the things is how I got to city council. I really started as a small business, and I've learned a lot. I think Clayton was mentioning that it's very, very hard to be a farmer. I've got to tell you, we pay criminally low prices for the food we eat. If you want to eat like good food, it's really expensive. Really, really expensive. Now, but before I get into my whole spiel, it'll be short. I want to ask in this room, how many of you have been part either of the Democratic Party or activists for over 50 years? Raise your hand.
Over how many years?
You can combine them either way. Yeah. At this time, you do you, sister. Over 40 years.
Over, no.
Keep your hands up. Over 40 years. Over 30 years. 15 years. 5 years. Recent. All right, keep your hands up.
No.
I want to first thank you personally, because it's of you. You're the reason why. Thank you. You can put them down. You guys. This is the thing with Democrats. We follow rules. We follow all that. Well, he said that. Let's do that, right? So I want to thank you because you make possible these races, all of us, to be up here, right, and have this dream. As a side note, I know you already know this. Follow your passions and your dreams, not what other people like or don't like. Not that I need to tell you that. So again, thank you, right? I do have my background in cybersecurity. The last decade or so was in this fancy thing of governance, risk, and compliance. And there's a compliance part that annoys people. Because I'm like, no, this doesn't, well, you missed something here, and I can go back and forth. And in city council, that annoys some people that are used to doing things a certain way. I want to be transparent with people. I want to be able to justify why we did X, Y, or Z, why I voted a certain way. I'm the only one that participates in social media when they have a question. It's like, well, they're, taking all this money home. I'm like, honey, there's no money to take home. And I proceed to tell them how we run the books, the audits, and et cetera, and it gets boring. But I'm the only one that does that. I want to engage folks, right? I want to be approachable. That's the leader that I would like to have. Now, I'm gonna give you a test. I know you didn't study, but you know the answers. So I've been a councilman, right? How many times, and you can yell out the answer, how many times do you think one of my city residents have come up to me and said, hey, could you ban this book?
0.
Okay. Now, we do have public parks. We're a small town, 20,000 people, give or take. How many times have they said, hey, those public restrooms that we have over there? Could you do something about those people? 0, right? You get the idea. And what would I do different as a governor? Honestly, really focus on the basics, right? Carroll County, right? It's very difficult for me to talk about it because I have a 9-year-old daughter. And the fact that he tried to use that tragedy to call a special session, which really no text uncalled for, because we know what the real thing was. Because according to the governor, he said he needed to, provide assistance and help. He didn't need to do that. He could have just done it, right? I'm back to the basics, right? Let's fix our public school system, which is a complete and total mess, and not be like trying from one on our side. Let's fix our healthcare. Right? Why is it you keep hearing we're the 7th or 8th largest economy in the world? What? I don't know if that's really helping us pay our bills, right? Why is it that we can't, sorry, I get frustrated specifically about the maternal health care, right? Why are we so low in that scale? Why can't we have the right investments, right? Invest in our own people. Somebody asked me earlier, well, what do you feel about a certain group of people or this thing or that? I said, honestly, your visits with your doctors is you, right? Your decision with your doctor as a trained physician, hey, heck, he had to know that he would do the best he could, right? Why do we need to have politicians say, yeah, this is good, this is not good, this is bad, and they only meet every 2 years, so hopefully you don't get sick in between. So let's go back to the basics. I know I'm a counselor in a small town, right? But again, all the examples that I tell you, like people worry about potholes, right? Or are we ready for, we went through Barrel. So I talk about the things I've learned as a pig farmer. Guess what? I have a backup of a backup of a backup of a backup. If an animal gets sick, if it gets out, Clayton knows this, when you're in a small town, sorry, Amazon is not doing same-day delivery. It's just not, right? So it's the same experience. I have also my background experience with disaster preparedness. Every community, I wanted to do this something called community emergency response team. It doesn't exist here in Texas. When we went through Barrel, people wanted to volunteer. They wanted to come in, but unfortunately, when you're getting punched in the face, it's not the time to really be making those choices, right? So it's just going back to that. And as I travel the state, it's really, folks, it really just saying, hey, I don't know who mentioned it, actually it was Clayton, the cost of things, right? Well, I'm 25 minutes from the coast. I can't keep anymore. I think I have 5 or 6 different home insurance. Well, insurance is in general, right? And it's not funny. I was gonna say it's funny. When I get the quotes, I'll wrap it up. When I get the quotes, it's 20-30% more expensive. And then you get the appraisal districts with your home is more, so you pay more taxes, on and on and on and on and on. So it's affordability, right? So again, for me, it's just bringing this experience, right? Of from a small town, we have to be very scrappy, very good with your budget, small business, right? How do we bring that to? So to bring that experience over. Now, let's just handle those things. I tell my daughter, hey, you clean your room, you do your homework, after that you do you. I'll work with anybody at the legislature that wants to move Texas forward. I'm not for banning books, I'm not for bathrooms or whatever. Texans don't have time for that, right? How do I think I can win? I'm going around the state, reaching communities that have been neglected. That 54% of the border counties, they said that nobody showed up. I'm doing that. But in order for me to do that, I do need your help and support. I'm Councilman Benjamin Flores, and I'm running for Texas governor. I would ask that you please share the message. I think we have a really strong year coming up for us. Right? Let's just stick with what we know we need, right? Let's focus on those things, and I think we can win. Thank you all.